Well, as a first-generation Canadian, and barely a first-generation Canadian, my mother was pregnant when they emigrated to Canada. I always felt Canadian growing up. You know, everyone in Calgary is from somewhere else. And so you have a sense of really just belonging to this great, crazy mix of people that make up this great city. You know, when I was growing up, I always used to say that my parents and my sister had these beautiful citizenship certificates, and all I had was a lousy birth certificate. But since then, I've grown to value what those citizenship certificates and that birth certificate really mean. What makes me feel Canadian is the sheer sense of welcoming and the sharing of opportunity that we have in this country. You know, growing up in East Calgary, I never ever felt like there was anything that I wasn't able to do. You know, I didn't have much money growing up, my family didn't, but what we had was a ton of opportunity. You know, I had the opportunity to get a great public education. I had the opportunity to explore the city on public transit and spend my Saturday afternoons at the public library, even learn to swim, very badly, in a public pool. And really that, to me, is what is about Canada. Canada says we will share opportunity with everyone. We'll give every single kid growing up in every single neighborhood the opportunity to be a great Canadian. And you know, when we think about it, I can travel abroad and say I'm Canadian, and people will never bat an eye. Imagine if my parents had emigrated to, say, Japan or Norway. Could I walk around and say I'm Japanese or I'm Norwegian in the same way that I can say I'm Canadian? I think that's something that's very special about this country and something that we always have to guard against and be in favor of. You know, the forces of the small-minded and the intolerant will tell us that perhaps Canada is an abstract idea, but that's not true. The real Canada is the Canada people who look like me and people who look like anyone else in this country live every day, and it's a very special place. One of the funniest things about being Canadian was not a growing up moment. It was something that happened to me just last year. And I found myself on the tarmac at a private airstrip about to greet His and Her Royal Highness, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, when they were coming through Canada. And I looked around the tarmac and I realized that to meet them was me, my chief of staff, who's one of the only native-born Calgarians in my office. His name is Chima Nkemdarim. The local MP, whose name is Devinder Shori, the local MLA, whose name is Darshan Kang, who is one of the first turbaned Sikhs in the Legislative Assembly in Alberta, and I thought to myself, wow, Will and Kate, when they get off that plane, are going to wonder where they landed. But you know what? That's Calgary, and that's Canada.